Okay, this is totally not take two. GM to YouTube. We're trying this again because the last time I tried the guide, it was really sloppy. So I want to try to clean up my act and make a not sloppy guide. No slop today. You get a good guide, okay? All right? I want to show kind of a mid-game Zulrah guide. More Ironman oriented, but obviously like will apply to mains as well. Focused at people who are like just starting Zulrah on the Ironman. You can totally send this kind of setup on a main as well and make decent money. Main thing that has changed Zulrah recently is the Twin Flame Staff. Twin Flame Staff gets a bonus for elementally weak monsters. It's dropped from the Royal Titans boss. Do not have a guide on that, but it's fairly easy. I thought I had a guide I was going to redirect him to. I never made it. Unlucky. The nice thing about Twin Flame is it's super, super slow, but it's very high DPS. Okay, so Twin Flame DPS-wise is a little bit better than a Trident of the Swamp.
A leech
okay, when you're casting Fire Wave. So a couple things that are nice. First of all, it's slow. When it's slow, you're using less runes, which is great. Other thing is it's casting normal spells, so it doesn't scale with mage level. Okay, Trident does. So Trident of the Swamp is only going to be comparable at 99. So if you're a lower mage level, like low 90s, high 80s, something like that, this staff is dramatically better. So basically, this is a better Swamp Trident for Zulrah. So that's the main idea behind getting it. You want to go grind this before you do Zulrah. It's super, super good. This is going to be super high DPS on melee phase and green phase. You can also do something called pillar stalling with this, which means that you're getting out of Zulrah's line of sight behind a pillar when she's in green phase, and every 6 ticks, you're coming back out, you're peeking out to do a cast, and then getting back behind. So this means Zulrah's going to stay above water longer, let you do more damage. You're going to see less phases. So there's less chance of you seeing something like a Jad phase. I would say it's effectively almost impossible in this setup with this gear to get a Jad phase. I showed Atlatl semi-recently. We did the Atlatl guide on how it's the most underrated weapon in the game. It's very good at Zulrah. You do not get the full burn damage, which stinks. The full set gives you burn damage. When she goes underwater, she purges the burn. So she puts it out basically when she goes underwater. So you barely get any burn damage. So this is going to be a little less DPS than we were getting on other monsters. If you have a Bofa, it's obviously going to be quite a bit better. 5 to 8% better depending on levels. But this is a super good option if you don't want to go get a Bofa. The nice thing about Atlatl is it scales with strength. So we'll do the brief overview. It scales with strength, strength bonus, strength level, and then the accuracy is ranged. Ranged level, ranged bonus, that kind of thing. So this thing is fairly accurate, attacks fairly quickly, very solid. The Bofa is going to be roughly 5 to 8% better. And I'd say QOL-wise, it's a lot easier to use. So if you have a Bofa, it's great, but you don't have to wait for it. One of the things we're going to do special with Atlatl is a B-ring switch. Okay, we're going to try to switch to B-ring. It is 2 max hits to put on a B-ring when you attack. And considering it's a 3-tick weapon, those 2 max hits are insanely important. So we are going to try to use B-ring when possible while ranging, and then use recoils otherwise. The other thing I didn't mention, no suffering. On an Ironman, I think it is completely silly to make a suffering. And the reason for that is the only thing that suffering is good on is Zulrah. That's the only thing it's good on. It's great QOL for Zulrah, has some okay defense. That's the only monster you're going to use it on because Lightbearer has overtaken it everywhere else. God War's Lightbearer is better for specs, for blowpipe specs. Inferno, Lightbearer is better for blowpipe specs. So Lightbearer just overtakes. So Suffering is QOL for one boss. It's not worth getting. If you're on a main, you can buy a Suffering. It's pretty cheap and it's very worth using. Don't go get that on an Iron. You don't need it. Okay, and I'm going to show you why. You might have noticed my giant ring. So this is a plugin called Ring of Recoil Notifier. So it just puts this giant ring on your screen when you're not wearing it. This is really helpful for when it breaks and you forget that you don't notice that it's like not on your hand, because the snakelings are just going to give you a shit ton of damage. They're going to pound you with damage if you don't realize. So this is super helpful for like, oh, I got to put that on. It's like a little jump scare. Bah! Put on a ring. Other things with the gear setup. With the mage gear, the only questionable switch I have is the boot switch. Boot switch is relevant because I'm using mixed hide boots. Mixed hide boots are -10 mage. So even though Mystic Boots are like not good for maging really, unless you want to do boot takeoffs, it's probably worth just bringing a boot switch. You want mage bonus for when Zulrah is orange because she's very tanky against everything. It matters a lot. Other things I'm bringing a crystal shield. You don't have to bring this, but it is going to reduce a lot of damage. It's roughly 25% of the total range damage that comes at you during mage phase that you can deflect with the shield. It's super good if you have it. And it does make the kills quite a bit harder to do the shield flick. If that's a little intimidating for you, don't bring it. You don't need it, but I'll show you how to do it. It fits in perfectly with Zulrah's attack style with an Atlatl, so that works really well. So I use a dual ring, just like Ironman banking. You can go to Fair Rocks, you can recharge your health here the same as a pool, and you can bank here and then go back quickly. If you don't have teleport scrolls yet, you're going to use Fairy Ring BJS. Haha, very funny. It's going to take you over to this Fairy Ring. and you're going to need 76 agility to use a stepping stone. If you're close, you can use a summer pie as a pre-pot, and you can still make the jump. If you are using this setup, you likely will get enough kills to maintain Zulrah scrolls. So you probably, eventually, will not have to worry about that fairy ring. If you have an occult, bring it, obviously. I'm just assuming you're not going to want to wait till 93 Slayer to start doing this. So also, Air Rims is the exact same as Bloodbark, and it's the exact same as Blue Moon. So all of that can be subbed in. Pieces, doesn't really matter. There's no like set bonus or anything. So if you want to sub in parts of that, that works totally fine. I'll show it a second as well. I have my snakelings color-coded, and I'll put this in the description. This is a paste bin link. So what you're going to do is just copy this, go in the radius markers plugin, and hit import. If it's in your clipboard, it'll just immediately grab them. This is going to give the snakelings color coding. And why this is useful is because there's both a melee snakeling and a mage snakeling. It's random, so it's 50-50 going to swap. So the mage snakelings, you can avoid full damage almost entirely, and the melee ones are the ones that's going to hit you. We're not going to pot ranging. If you have an excess of ranging pots, or you're on a main, like ranging pots are cheap, you can drink a ranging pot and a strength, but for me, I'm just going to drink super strength. Typically, like when I was doing Zulrah on my hardcore, I had a real deficit for range pots, and they're a real minor DPS increase compared to strength, so you can always just drink that. Kind of nice thing about Atlatl is you don't have to waste range pots, which is great. Big thing with Zulrah, before we go in, is there's a bunch of rotations. So there's a big thing learning it where you have to memorize all the rotations, and that's a thing you have to work towards. There's a plugin called Zulrah Helper, where you can put in where Zulrah is going on your screen, and then it'll just print out exactly where Zulrah is going to go. That's a good plugin while you're learning. Once you get to like 50 KC, if you really push to like memorize them, you can stop using that. Would recommend just trying to memorize where you can, because it's really helpful for DPS to be pre-switching into the right stuff constantly. So anytime it's green or it's red, we're going to be maging. Otherwise, we're going to use Atlatl. Oh, really helpful plugin as well. I'm not going to do a ton of pillar stalling, but I'll do a little bit with this setup. If you can get attack timer metronome plugin, that's going to make the timing for it so much easier. You're going to lose less ticks. It's very, very helpful. Okay, so this is mage. So this is one of the 4 rotations. Mage is one of them. She's going to spawn a bunch of snakelings. And you can see I'm standing in the middle of this island because this is going to make it so some of the mage snakelings get stuck and they don't hit me, right? So that's super big, is always standing in the middle of the island, if possible, because then they sometimes don't get hits off. So we're going to run over here. Now it's going to be green. Let's get that recoil back on and deal with this guy. So this is called pillar stalling. So what... Oh! Brief intermission. Pillar stalling is going to keep Zulrah above water longer, and that means you can do more damage before she goes underwater. So what this does is it teleports you. Dude, I'm so sad. The hardcore Iron Man part of the guide, yeah, that's for all you hardcores out there who are going to be tabbing left and right because this boss hits really hard. It's always going to start the same way. It's always going to be green and then change to something different. Okay, so this time it's red. So there are actually 2 variants on the red phase, okay? So mage phase, green phase, and then there's 2 red phases for a total of 4. We're just going to put on B-ring here because it's always going to be mage. Cool. All right, so this is the one where Zulrah is attacking me. There's a different variation where Zulrah is going to appear to the right and just spawn snakelings. So this is where it deviates. So for this phase, we're going to do the pillar stalling like I was talking about. And you can see just how much damage I get to hammer Zulrah with because I'm pillar stalling. I'm probably going to kill her here. I'm probably going to let off just to like show the next part of this. But I could easily kill it at this point. This is probably like a 130 kill. Pretty good kill. So now she goes orange. So orange is the lowest damage phase, but mage is much better. One of the things you want to do when you're using anti-poison to cure is just partially through the kill, cure it so it stops building up so much. So you don't want it to get above like 10 poison damage, basically. Okay, we'll kill her here. Okay, she's actually dead. It would go green phase. I would do pillar stalling on this side. Just kidding, I wouldn't, because she's spawning snakelings. You get the idea. I'd go over there. I'd be killing with Twin Flame, and then she would come up here. That's the progression of that. Not bad. We can actually do another kill. So you usually get like 2 kill trips with this setup, I would say. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 3. It just kind of depends. I'll try to show the shield flicking this kill if it comes up. We'll see. The Crystal Shield is a very easy item for like irons to get, and it brings her accuracy down with mage a lot. Okay, we'll show it. Melee face tiles? Okay, we'll do that after this. Yeah, I can do that.
A leech has spawned.
So if you throw on Crystal Shield... Sorry, I want to leave this up. If you throw on Crystal Shield right after she attacks, you actually get an Atlatl every time, because it's the same attack speed. So it makes things pretty easy. Okay, we're going to come over here, and it's the same as before. We're going to do pillar stalling. So just pillar stall from here. And I like to cure poison after it's at 8 over here. Because there's a period where she just, like, spawns some clouds, and then you can get it back up. All right, let's see if we can kill her here. Bunch of mage is good. Okay, I want to flick the recoil on for this melee snakeling. This is why we have it marked, by the way. Because we want to be able to kill those. And I try to just leave recoil on unless I'm, like, attacking her with B-ring. Like, otherwise, just leave the recoil on. It simplifies. Sweet, I got that last cast off. Why do I have the tab here? I think we should kill. Yo, jammed a potato. I believe it stays green, right? Yeah. So she's going to spawn a bunch of snakelings. We're going to kill her with mage. We're good. Secure the poison. Let's go bank, and we'll do another kill. So 2-kill trip. Like, pretty much on the money. Like, out of food now. Sometimes you take no damage, and you can get, like, multiple kills. I would expect the typical is 2. Sometimes you get ranched, and it's going to be 1-kill trip. It happens. It's item charges plugin for recoil charges. You can also break recoils and it will refresh them to full charges. So you can always do that if it's like 2 charges when you leave or something. Can be kind of nice. All right, what's it going to be? Perfect. Okay, we'll show the melee. So this is mostly going to be mage. You sometimes kill her before you even use a ranged weapon for this phase.
A leech has spawned.
Okay, so she summons a couple snakelings. We're going to leave. You cannot get in another cast there, unfortunately. It just barely doesn't fit. But we can avoid all the snakeling damage at least, which is nice. I like to cure poison on this side. Okay, so she does this melee poke with her tail. Effectively, she just hits in like a line of sight based on where she's facing. So if you go like dead center of her, you're going to avoid that diagonal poke. And if you go diagonally from her, you'll avoid the straight poke. That's it. So it's really that simple. You just walk like that. See if I can get a better angle. You probably don't want to do shield flicks unless all the snakelings are not melee. So something like this. So the timing is just getting your shield on right as her animation starts. So as soon as her animation starts, the damage is calculated. We're going to cure the venom because it was building up a little bit. And we'll do some flinchies. So now she's going to go underwater. And I am gonna kill the mage. And you just always want to hover food, basically, for this. Her max at 41. Like, she can just destroy you. It happens. We're good. We're getting, like, decent kills. 120 to 140, usually. We got a 113 outlier there. Pretty nice. I found with this setup that it's enough kills per trip that you maintain teleport scrolls overall. You probably have to get some going, though. With Bofa, it's even easier. You take less damage, and it's way easier to maintain the teleport scrolls. It's roughly like 2 to 3 kill trips allows you to just have unlimited scrolls. Can you go melee? Thank you. All right, give me the different green phase. Yeah, it's recoiled notifier plugin. I missed the ring. Unlucky. A little bit of damage loss. That's okay. Okay, we got it. So this is the one where she spawns snakelings. For this, you just pray mage. It's kind of weird because you're like, she's green. I pray range, right? But you have to fight that. You have to fight the urge. Because it doesn't do anything. You're just letting the snakelings hit you for free. So let's camp mage pray. And keep it on. Okay, I'm gonna let this guy die, and then we'll put on B-Ring. And she gives you a lot of time spawning snakelings to just hit her a lot, so it's really nice this phase. Go back to mage. Let's get the recoil back on. Oh yeah, I'm dumb. This is similar to the other one. This is the one where you have to go hit green. So come over here. Alright, I think we kill her here. Nice. Good kill. I think we got all the phases in like a decent like overview of Atlatl. You can shield flick on mage phases, and because you're not pillar stalling, that's kind of nice. It just fits in the attack cycle. Don't have to. It's sweaty. Like, you definitely don't need that. But it reduces the damage you take a lot. More likely to get longer trips, that kind of thing. Pretty worthwhile if you're willing to try it, but you don't need to. Is it more effective to use blowpipe over Atlatl? That depends on your darts. You would need rune darts at least, I think, for it to overtake here. Because Atlatl's a lot more accurate. So if you don't have at least rune darts, probably not. Okay, I'm going to show Bofa setup. So Bofa is about 5 to 8% better, depending on your stats, than Atlatl. And also, it's really convenient because we stopped doing the stupid stuff with the B-Ring. That just leaves the inventory. So it's super, super nice. Basically, it's just like brain off, put the recoil back on when it dies. You can see if you break it, it fully recharges it. So that's always a thing you can do. We are now going to crack out the blowpipe. If you don't have a blowpipe, whatever, you can't do this. If you do have a blowpipe, then there's a little bit of tech you can throw in to do a little bit of extra damage. So really, really nice if you have it. It's also really nice as a spec, just for healing you. Like, it's really, really good at Zulrah. Even if you're not using it as a main hand weapon, it's just really nice to bring along. All right, we'll see which phase we get this time. Same exact start and same exact thing. You always want to be maging if it's not blue. It's not blue. Okay, so we're barely going to touch the Bofa this kill. And that's okay. You don't get that last hit off with Twin Flame. I like to Q her here because there's a long period where you're not taking any damage. I will say for both setups, if you end up getting a Serp and you don't have anti-venom on an iron, it is probably worth camping the Serp helm, just to avoid needing these 3 inventory slots. It's pretty nice. Even if you take a DPS hit, I think that is worth it. Okay, we just want to get ready with the blowpipe as soon as we take some damage. It's probably good to give him a spec even if you're full health, just to get the spec recharging. And we're going to do Twin Flame Pillar Stall here. It's probably going to kill it. Maybe not? I think it lives, right? Yeah. One more phase. Blowpipe's back.
A leech
Blowpipe's back.
Spawned.
You're dead. Nice. Yeah, even normal anti-venom isn't great because it lasts, I think it's 30 to 50 seconds randomly. It's kind of bad. So, yeah, I feel like if you got a Serp drop, like, just camp it. It's all right. If you're a main, use extended anti-venom. That's crazy. It's like, what, 5 minutes of anti-venom protection or something? Something like that? You can always just use that. Are quest bosses different than regular runes? No, I don't think so. Uh-oh. Regarding curse? No, they shouldn't be different. If they are, that's weird. We're going to step back from Zulrah, and then we're going to do an L over here. Easy. Okay, this is the first thing where we're going to deviate from the other setup. So we're going to actually run through this poison a little bit. And the reason for that is we're going to pillar stall. So you can go behind pillar, fit in a blowpipe shot, Bofa, and get back behind pillar. So every single time, Zulrah is going to do 4 attacks no matter what, but you're going to get extra shots off. So it lets you fit even more damage. Over this phase, we keep Mage Spray up. You don't have to be at Zulrah, I don't think. I think you can turn it on manually. Okay, we can do pillar stall here as well. So you just step 2 tiles back, same as before. Let's see if we can get a cure off. Probably not with all these snakelings. I actually can. Sweet. And I'm trying to wait until I can't hit Zulrah anymore. This is a good time to eat. So you want to try to eat whenever possible when she's going underwater. And you're dead. You can always go behind a pillar as you know, like she's going to die to avoid getting venomed or stuff like that. Like, it's kind of nice. So you can see, like, Bofa in general, like, the thing is, it's just kind of more brain off. It's a lot easier to use than it is to use Atlatl, and it's also better DPS. So that's what Bofa has going on for it. It's really nice if you have it, but you definitely don't need it. Regular anti-poison is super easy to buy in Sophonim, by the way. If you have the bank there, there's 20 in the store there. So that's the best place to get it if you're an iron and you need a bunch of regular anti-poison. You can buy it fairly quickly. You use a lot here. It's like a full potion a kill, so probably stack up like a few hundred if you're planning to grind Zulrah for a while. So this is Gearscape, if you haven't seen it. Gearscape has this groups tab here, which lets you put in groups of monsters. So one of them is Zulrah, so you can actually see all the phases of Zulrah at once. Kind of neat. I'm showing you here, this is Twin Flame versus Twin Flame without Tome. And you can see Tome is very impactful, but it's not necessary. Twin Flame is still very good without it. On my hardcore, I don't have a Tome, and I still kill Zulrah with it just fine. The only way Sang overtakes is with Heart at 99. At 99 mage. As soon as I reduce this down, 95, I look at the DPS drop off. It's already worse. And the other thing is, it's actually worse on Flame Phase by 8%. So, honestly, I don't think I could say Sang is better. I don't think so. Because you don't need Heart at all for Twin Flame. Twin Flame is still amazing without Heart. The fact is, you're taking more damage from not pillar stalling than you're healing back with the Sang. Sang, you get Thralls. You do, but Thralls don't get the full DPS either. Even with Thrall DPS in, this is worse. Because Thralls are 0.625, right? Assuming the Thrall never stops attacking, which it would, this would be 7.2. It'd be 7.29, so extremely close. It's still not better. Sang is burning money. There's that as well. Really expensive to use. Honestly, I'd rather just prevent the damage than heal it, like with Twin Flame. Twin Flame is amazing. And you can't really put a number to how exactly much pillar stalling DPS adds, but it's a lot. It is a lot of damage. Keeping the boss in a state where you can hit it longer. Effectively, think of it this way. Every time Zulrah goes underwater, you're eating 3 pieces of food in tick loss. That's what's happening every single time she goes underwater. So the longer you keep her from doing that, the more damage you're going to do. It's really, really good. So a lot of people keep asking me, like, why don't you do Bofa Camp? What is the reason for that? The reason is, this is how much worse it is. We have Rigor on? Yes. We don't have Pot in. Sorry. That felt wrong. This is how much worse it is on green phase. It's 12% worse. Zulrah is 3 tick. You're reducing damage by 50%, and phases are twice as long with pillar stall. No? You're reducing damage in a way because it's staying in a phase where it can't hit you longer. So it's kind of reducing damage. And phases are twice as long. Not exactly twice as long, but effectively, roughly twice as long. Because she spawns snakelings and you can't stall for that, but roughly. Why don't you Bofa Camp? Why don't you sell Bofa Camp? It's 12% worse on green phase, okay? And it's 61% worse on melee phase, and you can't pillar stall with it, like we were just talking about, how good pillar stalling is. It lets you attack the boss longer. I mean, you can pillar stall a little bit. It's going to be minorly impactful, but it barely does anything. It might let you fit 1 more shot in. It's not even close to Twin Flame, though. Even the on-paper DPS, like, these numbers are way further apart. Way, way further apart. So Bofa is great in addition to Twin Flame, and I've heard people make the argument, like, longer trips. But if you can't Bofa, you're also taking more damage, right? Because you're not pillar stalling. You're taking way, way longer to kill the boss. You're going to take more damage. It's going to come out roughly the same trip length as bringing less switches, bringing more food, doing less damage, taking more damage. It's not a net positive for you to Bofa Camp. It's going to be worse. If you want to chill out and just do Bofa and not think about, like, the sweaty stuff here, be my guest. But you always want to bring a mage switch if possible, because it's a lot better. It's a lot better. Is Twin Flame easy to get an Ironman? Fairly easy. You want to grind the Titans anyway for the prayer scrolls as well. So it's a thing you want to go for. Common mistake people make is wearing Anguish with Atlatl. Don't do that. Because a Fury is way better. You can see on blue phase, this is our difference. So this is at max stats. It's a 14% difference. But this is at max stats, okay? So a lot of time your strength level is going to be a lot higher. If you're in a case like my Iron, where it's something like this, I think this is his stats. These numbers are a lot closer together. So keep in mind your strength level as you do the boss. Strength level affects Atlatl a ton. It scales off strength, doesn't require range pot, and it's pretty good. Double check your stats. Depends on your differentiation of your range versus your strength. But assuming they're both maxed, as you should, you know, Bofa is a lot better. And I can't throw in the burn DPS because it's so minor. You get like 2 to 3 burn splats at most for a phase because it disappears as soon as she goes underwater. So that kind of sucks. And you can't even pillar stall to keep the burn going or anything like that. So that stinks. Unfortunate. Unfortunately, this is not Atlatl's best boss, but you can get kills with it. You can get kills with it. You do not need a Bofa to kill Zulrah. Let's also throw in some misconceptions. One of these is Scobo. Scobo Dragon Arrow's max stats, the absolute peak gear, and you're never going to have this on an Iron. You're not going to have this. Absolute peak setup. It's still 0.2 DPS worse than an Atlatl. Let's throw it down to what you're actually going to have. Rune arrows at best. Ouch. Not so good. Unlucky. Scobo sucks. It's really bad. It's a terrible item when you're not killing demons. It is not useful. Like, you can see the huge gap between it and Bofa. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong page. This is the blue phase. There we go. I'm so sorry. It's even worse than it looks. There you go. It's 30% worse than Bofa, 17% worse than Atlatl, something like that. It's really bad. So don't use that here. Common misconception. It's a completely terrible item. Don't bring that. Crossbows I was asked about. Why don't you bring a crossbow here? Crossbows aren't great because she has under 500 health. 500 health is when rubies start decaying. The lower the health gets, the less they hit. Also, guess what? Your 100s? Just kidding. Those are 50s. Unlucky. I would probably wait until you at least have Atlatl to send Zulrah. Probably a Bofa, because Bofa's a lot better. I think that about covers it. This was a lot longer than I thought it would be. Unlucky. In the summer, is they're allowing you to use a halberd on Zulrah. It looks like Nally is pretty solid DPS across the board. All the phases stay the same. So if you're one of those people that loves Bofa Camp and you're mad at me right now for telling you not to, this is probably going to come in big for you because it's going to be this DPS on all the phases. It's going to be a bit worse than Bofa on like blue phase, like that kind of thing. But this is pretty solid like camping. Like across the board, it's just pretty good. So it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Can you Chally for 50-50? Chally specs are also really strong. Yeah. Because you can Chally right as she goes underwater and not lose a lot of ticks. So it's not a bad setup. I wouldn't knock you for sending this. This is a lot more decent than even like a TBOW camp setup. Like it's a lot better. So, alrighty. I think that covers everything. I think we got it all. I just saw that like there's a bunch of stuff that people don't know about, like pillar stalling, just like a lot of stuff. The snakeling attack styles that people don't know about. And with the new Twin Flame staff, like Zulrah kills have been easier than ever, especially on like a mid-game Iron. Like it's a totally different boss now. So let me know how your kills are going. Hopefully this guide helped you. Leave a like, subscribe, all of the things. Click a bell, give me money, you know, all the things. Bye. Thank you very much. Mwah! Question mark? The give me money is just like a little bonus. Don't say that. What? I'm cutting that. No! But my money!